Are we live? Are we live? Uh, I got to say that now. I always have to start off saying that now. I hope my lighting and my sound is okay. I've been playing around with StreamYard and learning the little features. I decided to put on this fun little background today, and I've learned how to present. I don't have anything to present or share tonight, but I remember in the last live, I wanted to show you something and I didn't know how, and I was scared to break my setup. So I didn't even attempt, but I know how now. I've been playing around with the system. But anyway, for this live, people often ask how I started investing. And the question is usually followed by expressing a fear of the stock market. So, to answer the question and address the fear of investing, I created a new investor starter kit that I've linked in the description box. But because it's also one of the most frequently asked questions that I received, I decided to do a video and share the beginning of my investing journey from zero to my first 100,000. Yes, yes. First, before I get started, let me say hello to my people. Let me say hello to my peeps. Hey, girl. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, financial besties. How you doing? How you been? If you're watching live, let me know in the chat. I see y'all in the chat. Put a money bag in the chat for me. Flood the chat with some money bags. Y'all ready to see how I start investing? So you can apply some of my lessons learned, because I'm going to talk about the good and some of the bad too. But if you're watching a replay, comment replay gang. I love to read your comments too. Let me say hello to who's here, but whether you're watching live or the replay, I am so glad that you are here. Greta, hey girl, hey. How you doing? How you been? Yes, with the money bags. Yes, yes, with the money bags. I don't know if the chat is a little delayed uh tonight, but that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna keep this train moving. But if you are new to me, hey girl, hey. Hey to you too. My name is Malika and I am a money coach. I help new investors learn to navigate the stock market without fear or anxiety and invest with ease to achieve their financial goals. If that sounds like your vibe, then I invite you to join my tribe. Subscribe to my channel and tap that notification bell so you'll be notified when I release new videos. Welcome, welcome to you too. Hey, Empress. Uh-oh, hold on. I'm trying to highlight your comments and say hello. Hello, you're watching live. Ching, ching. I'm going to take that as a money bag. Okay. Let's see. Gwendolyn Smalls. Hey, Gwendolyn. How you doing? How you been? Welcome to the family. So let's get into the topic tonight. Y'all, from 0 to 100K, the beginning of my financial journey. I put the topic on the stream across the bottom. So how did I get started? How did I get started? If you see me looking down, it's because I have my phone, wrote some notes to make sure I don't forget anything important that I wanted to tell you. But if you are an investor, share in the comments to let me know how you got started investing. How did you get started? During this live, I'm going to share 2 things I did right and 2 things I did wrong. I want you to be able to take what I share from my experience and hopefully learn from it, but learn from my good decisions and the bad ones, because I didn't always make good decisions. But to kick things off, let's start with the good. So 2 good things I did right. Now, first, let me caveat this by saying I always tell my clients in my coaching program that investing, personal finance, building wealth, however you view the journey, the financial journey that you're on, it is 80% mindset and psychology and only about 20% dollars and cents. When people first hear that, they're like, what do you mean? I'm just trying to make some money. You always talking about making these money babies. Let's get to the dollars and cents. I get it. I get it. But it really is about mindset first, your psychology, your behavior, your relationship with money. It's more so that than the dollars and cents. Because once you have the mindset, once you are in a position where you have discipline and you're motivated and you're determined to achieve your financial goals, all of that is mindset. Once you overcome the overspending, once you overcome any bad financial habits that you have, abusing your credit cards, all of that is mindset and psychology and behavior. Once you overcome those things, the rest is, I won't say easy, but the money gonna do what the money gonna do. The money gonna make the money babies as long as you have the mindset and the behavior to tell your money what to do. And it's going to do exactly what you want it to do. So investing in wealth building is 80% mindset and psychology and 20% dollars and cents. And the reason why I say that is because the two things I did right was a combination of both. The very first thing I did was I had a mentor. I had a mentor who, I don't think she knew she was my mentor initially. We worked together. And she was a couple of years ahead of me in the career field, but she was another Black woman, and she was also a single mom. So when I started my career, y'all know my backstory. I was a single mom. I was on welfare for almost 10 years. Y'all know that story. So me entering this new world of professional 9 to 5, it was a whole new world to me. So to meet other Black women and other Black women who were also single mothers, and to see them making money, advancing their career, and then taking the money that they earn and not just spending it frivolously, but taking the money that they earn and buying assets to build their wealth. That was a foreign concept to me. I was just excited to make money because I was excited to get off welfare. And once I got off welfare, I wanted to buy all the things that I couldn't afford to buy for so long. I was ready to spend. But this mentor, this unintentional mentor, she was actually my sponsor, my work-related sponsor. She was responsible for helping me to get acclimated to the environment and helping me, learn how to navigate the corporate politics and, things like that. So she kind of took me under her wing, and I watched her from afar in the office. And then we would meet sometimes outside of the office. And that's where she really influenced me. And she would share a little bit about her investments and what she was doing. But it was so interesting because when I look back on how influential she was to me, I wasn't really ready to receive what she was sharing with me because my mind wasn't there yet. My mind wasn't there yet. Have you guys ever experienced that? Where you want to elevate to the next level and you have people sharing information with you and ready and eager to teach you. But if your mind isn't there yet, you can't really receive it. Is it just me? Anyone else experience that? So I didn't fully value what she was sharing, but I watched her and I admired how she was changing her life and her son's life by using the stock market. And what that did for me, even though I didn't learn a lot about the stock market from her, because she influenced me, it planted a seed. It planted a seed in my mind that I can do it too. So I bookmarked that experience And in hindsight, it was the most influential experience for me. And that's what helped me start thinking about investing and what shifted my mindset and made me realize that I could invest too. The next thing I did in terms of mindset and psychology, I started dabbling a little bit on my own, making a lot of mistakes that you'll hear about later. But I started reading a lot of blogs. I don't know if you all know that part of my story, but I used to have a personal finance blog some time ago. It was a little popping. I had some sponsors, made a little money from the blog. But I wrote about personal finance, but that was my introduction into the finance community where I really started increasing my uh, personal finance literacy. But I read a lot of blogs. I read a lot of books. And my favorite blog back then, besides my own, of course, was Get Rich Slowly by JD Roth. I don't know if that blog is still around, but if it is and the old content is still up there, I encourage y'all, check it out. Check it out. That blog, I learned so much from Get Rich Slowly, JD Roth. And my favorite book back then, because my favorite book now is different. But my favorite book back then was The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. So if you want to get started and you want to learn how to invest and work on your psychology and your mindset and just get exposed to the language of investing, I encourage you access your free resources, the financial blogs that are out there, Get Rich Slowly if it still exists, and the financial books. Don't buy them, rent them from the library. You know, they're free. But The Intelligent Investor was one of my favorite books back then. And I say back then because one of my favorite books now, and I share this all the time, is The Simple Path to Wealth. The Simple Path to Wealth is my favorite book now. And the last thing I did that really not only inspired me, but it started moving my feet to make me take action is I hired a coach. I hired a coach to learn more. While you're reading and taking in all the free information that's available on the internet and in books, it's kind of like all over the place. And you start learning and you improve your financial literacy, but you don't really understand how it all works together. And furthermore, I didn't really understand how to apply it to my life. And that's what the coach did for me. The coach explained things in a way that I could process and understand and how I could apply to my life. So to me, that's the difference between the free information and the coaching. And I still have a financial coach today because coaching for me, I don't know about you all. If you have a coach or if you've ever been coached, whether financial, life, or any other type of coaching, let me know what coaching has done for you. But coaching for me, it shortens my learning curve. I can learn just about anything on YouTube. YouTube University can teach you anything, but I don't have weeks and months and years to try to figure things out. I ain't got that kind of time. Or actually, I'm lying. I do. I'm free. I got time, but there's better ways I want to spend my time. So I prefer to hire a coach to shorten my learning curve and also to avoid expensive mistakes. Because when it comes to investing, those mistakes impact your money. And I'm going to share the mistakes I made that had the most impact on my money. And because I learn more and I learn faster, to me, it's worth the value of coaching versus me trying to figure things out on my own and it taking longer and me making more costly mistakes. But that's what really moved my feet. That's when the light bulb came on and I really started being able to understand what the S&P 500 is, what the Nasdaq is, what the Dow is. I was able to understand those nuts and bolts of the stock market. And then the S&P 500 has 11 sectors, and the tech sector and the consumer discretionary sector. All those things, I heard the terms, I heard it on the news, it just didn't register until I started working with someone that broke it down in a way that I could understand. But the next thing I want to share that I did is associated with mindset that helped me, I won't say the most, but just as much as getting the inspiration and the mentorship and the coaching was identifying my why. Identifying my why. What is your why? Why do you want to invest? Why do you want to improve your finances? Your why, it's so important because investing is a long game. I'm not talking about trading. I'm not talking about trading. I don't teach trading. I don't coach trading. And I rarely talk about trading on my social media. Investing. Investing is a long game. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So if you don't have a strong why, it's going to be difficult to stay in the game for the long haul. So I knew I needed a strong reason to keep me motivated through the ebbs and flows of life. Frankly, through the ebbs and flows of the stock market. Because the stock market will drive you crazy if you have a short term mindset. You will be stressed out. Your stomach will be in knots. So I had to identify my why. Why did I want to become an investor? And your why has to be a reason. It has to be something that's meaningful to you. And it has to be more than I want to make money. It has to be beyond the money. What do you want to change in your life? Are you in a toxic work environment and it's stressing you out so bad it's impacting your health? Yeah, you want to make money, but the real reason is you want to be able to save your life. You know what I mean? The real reason is you want to be able to save your life because money is just a tool. Money is just a tool. So it has to be more than money. It has to be more than I want to make money so I can put a deposit on my house. I want to make money so I can buy this car. If your reason is only money related, you're going to make short term decisions, you're going to make emotional decisions, and you will lack discipline. And all of those things, I promise you, will lead to you losing money. So identify your why and make sure it's something that's meaningful to you. So meaningful that when life happens, it will help you to self correct and get back on track. For me, my why, I wanted to get off welfare. I wanted to provide a better life for my daughter. I wanted to be able to live in a safe home and raise my daughter in a home where she could be comfortable and happy instead of us living in the hood and constantly feeling unsafe and always, checking, what's going on around us. I wanted to be able to relax my nervous system. So that why for me, providing a better life for my daughter was such a strong why. I was in it for the long game, no matter how long it took. No matter how long it took, I was in it for the long game and I was determined to finish the marathon. And I'm still running the marathon 25 years later. I'm still not finished. I'm still in the game and I'm still consistent with what I do because of my why. Because of my why. So, what is your why? What are some of the whys you have for investing? Thank you. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Love that name. Yes. This is the psychology, the mindset portion of investing, building wealth, personal finance. This process is 80%. And this is my opinion. This is not a research stat. It's the majority behavior, psychology, and mindset. And it consists of shifting your mindset, getting mentorship or coaching, and identifying your why. Thank you. Thank you for summarizing that for me. And for all of us that are watching, hey y'all. Hey Hilda, how you doing? How you been? How you doing? How you been? Y'all want to share your why with me in the comments or how you got started investing? But it wasn't until I was able to address the mindset issues. And it wasn't until I was able to address those mindset issues before I was able to focus on the dollars and cents consistently and grow the dollars and cents to create money babies. And the reason why I say that is because I dibbled and dabbled in and out for several years before I was consistent because I hadn't addressed those mindset issues. I hadn't addressed the behavior issues. I had a little spending issue when I first started making a little change. I had to buy all the things and get it out of my system. But because I hadn't addressed those issues yet, I was making some of the mistakes that new investors commonly make. Because I hadn't addressed those issues, invest $50 here, $100 there, and stop. Or I would contribute to my 401k and then stop. Or I would contribute a certain percentage and then reduce it. Even if I didn't stop completely, I would reduce the amount because I wanted the money to spend. So I wasn't able to really gain traction and create money babies until I address those mindset and psychology things first. Yes. Greta said her why is to build financial freedom. What does financial freedom mean to you? What does financial freedom mean to you? I realized that when I was saying financial freedom, when I would introduce myself, it's such a broad term, but it means something different to everyone. So, what does it mean to you? Hilda said her why is financial independence. I want to be able to rest. Yes, I want to be able to rest. And that why is not really about money. You want to relieve stress. You want to be able to relax your central nervous system. So if you're dealing with a lot of stress right now and you want to relieve that, that's a meaningful why to have. So yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Ain't nobody coming to see. I'm gonna see your name. I'm gonna laugh. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Your why is resting. Yeah, resting. Yes, yes. Okay. Your why is rest and freedom. Rest and freedom. Oh, everybody is saying rest. Okay. Everybody is saying rest. Okay, that's a pretty popular reason. Okay. You just want to rest. Listen, I get it. Black women are the hardest working women in the world. We are always taking care of everybody but ourselves. We are always working, cleaning the house, taking care of the kids, doing all the things. So, girl, I get it. I get it. KJ around the world said rest for me too. Said we tired. Yes, we tired. We are tired. So I get it. Everybody's like, I just want to rest. Yes. And money is a tool to buy your freedom. So when you're thinking about spending, or if overspending is a challenge that you have, or you're dealing with overcoming the abuse of credit cards, think about what your money can be spent on that will help you to address your why. So instead of spending on that new bag or those new shoes, remind yourself that those dollars can also buy your freedom to rest. So you can buy the shoes or you can buy your freedom. Either way, you're buying something with that money. So think about it as I want to buy my freedom. And that may help you to redirect how you choose to spend. And it may help you to address some of the behavioral or mindset challenges that you want to overcome. Eileen said, my why is to be financially stable so I can stop stressing and actually have some mental rest. That rest again. Yes, I get it, sis. I get it. You want to stop stressing. You want to be able to exhale and woosah. You don't want your mind to constantly be on and thinking about the next thing and how you're going to do this and how you're going to do that. I get it. I get it. I get it. So, y'all think about the whys that you're sharing when you're thinking about how you choose to spend your money. Do I want to spend this on, I don't know, you already ate out 2 nights this week and your girlfriends just invited you to go out again? Do I want to hang out with my girlfriends? Or do I want to save and invest this money because I want to buy my rest? Right? So remember that why, and that why will take you through so many challenges in life because perfection is not required. Perfection is not required to be a successful investor, to build wealth, to get to your first $100,000 in your brokerage account. Perfection is not required, but a strong why is. And the reason why that strong why is required, because when you get off track, when life happens, when you do decide to overspend, that why, it's what's going to help you redirect and get back on track. So you don't have to be perfect, but you do want to have a strong why. Empress said her why is financial stability. Lawanda says freedom to choose more of the things that are important to me. Freedom, yes. You want to buy your freedom. Yes. I want to wake up when I wake up versus when the alarm clock goes off. I know that's right. I know that's right. Emotional psychology and rest. Yeah, so I don't smack the clear people. Y'all are funny. Y'all are funny. But y'all like this video. Like this video if what I've shared so far is helpful. Like it and share it with others. Like it and share it. I'll wait. Y'all like this video. Okay. So let's go into the second thing that I did right. And now I got into the dollars and the cents. So what I did when I started investing, because there's so many different ways to invest, there's so many different accounts that you could have. I started with the type of investing that was more accessible to me and that was a little easier to understand. And I started by taking advantage of all of the accounts with tax benefits first. I started by taking advantage of all of the accounts that I could invest in that had tax benefits first. And even though I didn't know at the time that I was building a tax strategy, but in hindsight, I'm like, oh, Malika, girl, funny, Malika, girl, you was smart. And I say that because while you're building wealth, Uncle Sam gonna want his cut. So you also need to make sure you have a tax strategy. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. So I don't want to give myself that much credit, but it ended up benefiting me in the long term. So you also want to have a tax strategy so Uncle Sam is not taking so much of it, right? So I took advantage of all of the accounts with tax benefits first. And what I mean by that was the first thing I invested in is what most of us, if we have 9 to 5 jobs, what most of us have access to is a 401k. But I understand not everyone has access to a 401k, depending on your employer, but your 401k. So my employer at the time would give me 1% whether I contributed anything at all, and would give me another 4% and will match 4% of what I put in. So a total of 5%. So what I did was I contributed 5% so I could get that full company match. So if I invested, let's say $500 a month in my 401k, $1,000 was actually going into my 401k. I was putting in 500. My employer was putting in 500. So I was actually investing $1,000 every month because of my contributions and my employer contributions. So if you have access to a 401k, that's investing too. I know there's a lot of chatter on social media about the 401k is not a good account. You should invest in something else, do your own investing. That could be a video for another day, my opinion of that. But my opinion of 401k still has not changed. My opinion still has not changed. I think it is the easiest access to the world of investing. And because of the tax benefits, because the money that you put in the 401k is pre-tax, so that means you don't pay taxes until you withdraw the money. And the benefit of that is presuming that when you withdraw the money, you'll be in the lower tax bracket, so that income will not be taxed as much, right? And the other benefit of the 401k is that match. Where else are you getting 100% match? Where else can you put in 5% and someone else put in 5%? So all the negative things that people say about 401ks, you can't match 100%. That's a 100% automatic return before my money even go into the stock market. Unless you can give me a 100% return somewhere, I don't care what you're saying. A 401k to me is the best investment if you have access to one. At least invest enough to get the match. Even if you don't believe that your 401k has the best options available for you, at least invest enough to get that match. Now, I realize that some employers, they try to be a little slick and they have a vesting period. So you got to stay long enough to be fully vested to walk away with the money they gave you. So that is a catch. That is a catch. But assuming that you're fully vested and you can walk away with the money that they give you, with my employer, the fully vesting period was 3 years. Was 3 years. So after 3 years, everything that you received in the match is all yours. So invest enough to get the match. In 2023, and it changes every year, but in 2023, you can contribute up to $22,500 in a 401k. So if you have less than $22,500 to invest, and you only want to invest in your 401k, that's perfectly fine. Put it all in your 401k. It's pre-tax money, and you're getting that employer match. Right? The next account I took advantage of is still an account with tax benefits. The next account that I took advantage of was my Roth IRA. And I will praise the Roth IRA until I go to heaven. The reason why I love the Roth IRA is because although the money you put in is after-tax money, but when you invest in a Roth IRA, and as that money start making money babies, and those money babies start compounding and multiplying all over the place over the years, the money that you take out, is all tax free. You can't beat that with a bat. I ain't trying to get Uncle Sam nothing if I don't have to. Okay. I ain't trying to get Uncle Sam nothing if I don't have to. So when I first started, I was contributing to my 401k, just enough to get the match. And then I contributed to my Roth IRA because I wanted my money to grow tax-free. And in 2023, the contribution limit, you can invest up to $6,500 in a Roth IRA. And I see someone has helped me out here with the 401k max for 2024 for next year. Thank you, Shauna. Shauna or Shana? Let me know. to make sure I pronounce your name correctly. For next year, the 401k maximum limit, not the match, but the maximum limit is $23,000. So it's increasing about $500. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. But yeah, so the 401k, you can invest up to $6,500. And these are all limits for people who are under the age 50. If you're over age 50, the 401k and the IRA allows you what's called like catch-up contributions. So if you're over 50, you can actually contribute more. And it's usually for the Roth, it's usually about $1,000 more. And for the 401k, it's probably about 12,000 more. I don't know those numbers off the top of my head because I ain't over 50. Sorry, y'all. But yeah. So after I got the match, then I put that 6,500 into my Roth IRA. Notice you haven't heard me talk about trading. You haven't heard me talking about opening up a regular brokerage account. I'm focused on the accounts that had tax benefits first. Now, the other benefit of the Roth IRA is it's not associated with your employer. It's not an employer-sponsored plan. You do need to have earned income to contribute to an IRA, but the account itself is fully within your control. You have to open your own account and you get to choose your own investments. Unlike a 401k, it's employer sponsored, so they open and manage and maintain the account for you, and then they give you the options that you have available to invest in. And what I did was I looked at what my employer said was available to me, and I compared it to what was available in the stock market. And what I would invest in the stock market, if I had complete control on my own, I would find the most equivalent investment option under my employer list, and I invested in that. I didn't just blindly invest and just put the money wherever somebody from HR told me to do. Mm-mm. I made the choice based on that limited list that they gave me, because your employer, the investment options through your employer are limited. But based on that limited list they gave me, I found out what was as closely related as possible to what I would invest in if I had total control. And that's what I chose as my investments. But in the Roth IRA, I had complete and total control, and I was able to choose for myself what I wanted to invest in. Shayna, okay. Thank you, Shayna, for sharing. So in 2024, the maximum contribution for the Roth is $7,000. So that's going up $500 too. Okay. So they're making more room, creating more room. Shayna, this is awesome information. Oh, you're welcome. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Look at that. Make the money babies, girl. Look, that's gonna be our formula. I like that. Yes. Make the money babies. I'm gonna leave that on the screen for a minute. Y'all see that formula? Y'all see it? We have to overcome the mindset and the behavioral issues, right? Then we have to invest in the stock market, but protect your money and invest in tax advantage accounts first, because we don't want Uncle Sam's hands all in our business. We're going to give him his fair share. We're going to give Uncle Sam his fair share. I'm not suggesting tax fraud or anything like that. But if there are options available where you can reduce your tax liability while you're investing, take advantage of that option first. That's what I did. Take advantage of that option first so you can multiply and compound the money babies. Yes. Thank you for that. Y'all like this video and share it. And the third account that I invested in that also had tax benefits was my HSA. My HSA, a lot of people think an HSA is only to pay for medical bills. And it is for the most part. HSA stands for Health Spending Account. And in order to have access to a health spending account, you have to have a high deductible health plan. And when you have an HSA, you can contribute money to the HSA, and most people use it to pay their deductible. But the reason why I like HSAs is they call it a triple tax hitter. They call it a triple tax hitter because the money that goes in the HSA is tax free, just like your 401k. The money that grows in an HSA when you invest it, it grows tax free, just like an IRA. But when you take the money out, you also take the money out tax free. So everything about the HSA, once that money goes in there, it's off limits to Uncle Sam. And the money can be withdrawn tax free for qualified health expenses. However, the way I use my HSA, I use my HSA as another retirement vehicle. I use my HSA as another quasi Roth IRA because after the age 65, you can withdraw the money from an HSA and it does not have to be for medical related expenses. You just will have to pay taxes if you choose to spend the money on something non medical related. But by the age 65, that's when my medical expenses are going to be the highest. So I want to leave the money in that account and growing for as long as possible. So we can create money babies and multiply those money babies. So when I'm 65 and I have more expensive medical expenses, I have more money to access in the HSA, number one. And number two, if I need to access it for any other reason other than my medical expenses, I can do that too without penalty. I do have to pay taxes, but after age 65, I'm gonna be in a lower tax bracket anyway. So I'm deferring my taxes if it's non-medical related, but it's tax-free if it is medical related. So with those three accounts with tax advantages, the 401k, the Roth IRA, and the HSA, in the beginning, that is all I invested in. The HSA is also completely within your control. When you first set it up, it is similar to a 401k where it looks like it's employer sponsored, and there are limits that HSA sponsor provides, but you can set up your own HSA account and transfer that money over to your own account so you can fully control it. That's what I do. I fully control my HSA. But you have to have a high deductible health plan in order to have access to an HSA. And if you ever change your health insurance plan and you no longer have a high deductible plan, you can still have the HSA. The money is yours forever to manage and control forever, but you're no longer eligible to contribute to the HSA when you no longer have a high deductible health plan. That makes sense? So there are some stipulations to get access to an HSA. But girl, if you can, I strongly recommend it because that triple tax hitter, that triple hitter, you keeping Uncle Sam out of your pocket every which way you turn. Every which way you turn. And when let's say I pay a medical bill out of pocket, I pay for a medical expense out of pocket, I will save that receipt because I could technically claim that and get my money back from my HSA. But because I invest my HSA money to make money babies, to truly benefit me in the future when my medical expenses will be higher, I save that receipt. And another way I can access my money, let's say in the event of emergency, I don't know, life happens, right? And I just need access to $1,000 real quick. And I don't want to sell off my assets. I don't want to do anything, too complicated to get access to $1,000. All I got to do is go to my cloud folder and find some medical receipts that I paid when my medical expenses were lower and when I had the money to pay it. And if I have $1,000, even if it's only $100 receipt for a medical expense that I paid that I never filed a claim on, I can file that claim later in the future when I need the money. I can file that claim, provide that receipt to my HSA administrator, and get that $100 back. Tax-free and penalty-free. because it was technically to pay for a qualified medical expense. I just didn't pay for it with my HSA at the time, but I can file that claim at any time. So it also double works as like an emergency fund later on. I won't get into all the nuts and bolts of that. It's a little more complicated the way I finagled that account, but that's the gist of it. And that's what a lot of people in the FI community do. We use our HSA to invest the money, not to pay for medical expenses. Because when you're younger, you're healthier, you have more access to money because you're in your highest earning years. So you don't really need the HSA money to pay for your medical expenses. And in the event you have a small medical expense, like paying a copay or paying for a prescription because you got the flu or something like that, and it's not a lot of money, I just pay that out of pocket and save the receipt. Pay it out of pocket and save the receipt and keep that money that I have invested that's making money babies. I let the money babies continue to grow. And I have a folder on my cloud. I upload that receipt to my folder and store it away for a rainy day. Because if I ever need that money, best believe I'm pulling them receipts down and be like, HSA administrator, run me my coins because I need $500 right now. Here's the receipts that I paid in 2021. There is no statute of limitations. There is no limit to how long it can be before you file a claim. As long as you got a receipt and it's a qualified medical expense, you can file a claim against your HSA and get your money back. All right. So the limit for the HSA in 2023, the contribution limit was $3,850. And this is based on a single filer, a person that files taxes as a single person, $3,850. The limits are higher if you have a family. The limits are higher if you had a household and you have children. But for 2023, it's $3,850. And the same as the 401k and Roth IRA, I'm sure that's going to go up in 2024. So with these three accounts alone, based on 2023 dollars, based on the 2023 maximum contribution, it allows you to invest up to $32,850 with tax benefits. $32,850 can be invested that has tax benefits. And that's how I started, solely with tax benefit accounts. I didn't worry about how to start this brokerage account. I didn't worry about how to trade. I didn't worry about how to do this account, that account, and figure out all. I didn't worry about all of that. Frankly, at the time, I didn't know how to do it anyway, which worked in my favor, because if I was all over the place trying to do all the things, I wouldn't be where I am today, because I would have made so many more expensive mistakes. Keep it simple. Focus your strategy. Make sure you're getting the tax benefits with whatever strategy you choose. My strategy was tax advantage strategies through employer-sponsored accounts and accounts that I can control on my own. The Roth IRA and the HSA are accounts that were completely within my control. Whatever brokerage you have, whether it's Fidelity, whether it's TD Ameritrade, whether it's E-Trade, whether it's Vanguard, whether it's Charles Schwab, you can open an IRA, a traditional and a Roth. You can also open an HSA. Right? And you can choose whatever you want to invest in. They're completely within your control. So the main thing I want you to take away from this is, before you open a regular brokerage account, consider if you have time. If you have time, and you shouldn't be investing if you don't have time, because investing is a long game anyway. If you have time for your money to make money babies, consider putting the money in an account that has tax benefits first. That's the main thing I want you to take away. from my early experience. That was a decision that I think I did right. All right. And if you want to know how to open the account and suggested stock to invest in, I did a video on that already. It was titled a 3-step guide to start investing. I'll link it here in the card when I edit this video or after the live is over. So I'll link that video in the card, but it's a 3-step guide for new investors to start investing. But yeah, so let me check the comments to make sure I'm not missing anything. And if you haven't liked this video already, now would be a good time while I'm checking these comments. If this is helpful to you in any way, make sure you like this video and share it. Yes, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. You should make the money, babies. That's what this is all about. Because we ain't trying to work. We ain't trying to work. Girl, I work optional. I'm not trying to do all these side hustles and doing more work to exchange my time for money and to exchange my effort for money. At a certain age, even if you free and you get a side hustle, you start a business, at a certain age, don't you want to stop working completely? I know I do. I mean, I walked away from my career, but I'm still one foot in the earning money world. But at some point, I'm going to completely step back and completely woosah. I like where I am now and the balance that I have. But at some point, I'm going to completely step back. And in order to do that, you need to know how to make your money make the money, babies. So you no longer have to work to make the money. Helene said work is a bad 4-letter word now. Yes, I'm not trying to work. Like right now, I don't work hard. I don't work hard at all. I don't do anything that's stressful. Girl, if it's stressful, I'm not doing it. I'm not. Even if it's making me money, I ain't doing it. That's why I don't day trade. That's why I don't day trade. When I do trade, I take that back. I take that back. That's why I don't day trade often. I'll say that. That's why I don't day trade often. I have to really be in the zone and in my element to day trade. There's no way I could do that every day because it's stressful. It's stressful. Mm-mm. And when I trade options, I trade what's called leaps. And leaps is like a long-term trading. It's swing trading, but it's longer term. So I can get into a position and hold it for 3 months, 6 months. But I can buy a long-term 1 year, 2 year position, right? I can't day trade because it's stressful. It feels like work. I can leave my 9 to 5 to create another 9:30 to 4. That's when the stock market is open. I'm not doing that. But at some point, I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to do nothing. And that time might be coming up for me by the time I hit 50. Be honest, y'all. I'm still in my 40s. So I'm still, in that. I'm not in the grind mode anymore, but I'm still in the I still want to be helpful. I still want to be able to interact with people. And if I can make money doing it, why not? But girl, at some point, I just want to move to Bali and just disappear. I have decided that Bali is my place. Yeah. I don't know if I shared that with y'all yet, but at some point, I just want to move to Bali, get me a luxury villa, hopefully that has views like that. Get me a luxury villa and just ride off in the sunset. I may not have a little boy toy, but I definitely don't want to work into my 50s. So make the money, make money, babies. Start now. Start now so you're not consistently trying to figure out how to make money and how to get a remote job and how to do the side hustle and all those things in your 50s and your 60s and definitely not well into your 70s. Because Social Security ain't going to be enough. I mean, unless you move to a country that has a very, very low cost of living. But you plan to live in the US, or you plan to retire to an island or Europe or, somewhere like that, and you want to live comfortably, Social Security ain't going to be enough. Start now so your money can start compounding and making money babies. So when you decide to stop working completely, you have access to another source of income that you didn't have to work for. Your money babies did all the work for you. Right? Oh, somebody's birthday is in the chat. Hilda? Oh, she just turned 30. Oh, I just turned 30 and I'm ready to retire now. The just turning 30 part, it warms my heart because I love to have young Black women in community with me, because this is the perfect time for me to get your attention and to get you investing, because time is on your side and I could help you do so much at your age. I have a young sister in the cohort, the Invest with Ease cohort that I'm running now. And I think she's 23 or 24. If you're in the Invest with Ease cohort and you're in the chat, let me know. I know Shalonda is in there. Who else? Maya. If you're in the Invest with Ease cohort, you know who I'm talking about. But yes, our baby sis is only 20 something years old and she is so adorable. And we have all just gathered around her and we have all decided that we are going to support baby sis. I promised her I'm going to pour into her everything that I have. And even when this 8 weeks are over, I said, baby, you stuck with me. You stuck with me for life. As long as I'm coaching, I'm going to be your coach, because to have access to a Black woman that is, oh, we got a troll. Let's see if we can take care of this right now. That was easy. But as long as, daggone troll made me lose my train of thought. But to have access to a young mind in her 20s that's already aware of her financial literacy and wants to improve it in her 20s, she's going to be an automatic millionaire. And one of the sessions, I just took her goal and I ran her numbers. Her goal was so small. I'm trying to stretch, not just her, but I'm trying to stretch all of my clients to think bigger, because you come to me with those little modest goals that are just so cute. I think her goal was something like $1 million. Baby, you are 20 something years old. You have at least 40 plus years to invest before you decide to stop doing any creation of income. We can do a lot in those 30, 40 years. I just pulled up a calculator and I just ran the numbers real quick, just based on 20 years. Girl, that number blew her mind. That number blew her mind. So yes, I love to see the young sisters. Hold on, how in the world I banned this person? How did they get back? But it's so beautiful to see a young sis just turned 30 that is focused on her financial health. I love it. I love it. And Hilda, I'm so glad you're here. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Let me know. I aspire to be, for young Black women, for new investors, what I wish I had. And what my early mentor, even though I wasn't ready yet, what my early mentor was for me. She planted the seed, but I also want to inspire you and move your feet, get you to take action so that you can have that freedom you want. You can buy that freedom you want in your 40s. In your 40s, the earlier you start, the earlier you can be free. I'm still in my 40s. I'm work optional. And I said work optional instead of retired because I may decide to go back to work. I may not. I don't know. I love the beauty in having the choice. So I love it. I love it. I love it. How is this troll keep coming back with the same account? Anyway, happy belated birthday, girl. I see you said your birthday was actually yesterday, but happy belated birthday. Let's see. Maya Spikes. Hey, girl, hey. Is 10 years enough time to see at least some growth in a Roth IRA or an investment fund? Absolutely. Absolutely. 10 years is enough time to see growth. Absolutely. And when I say investing is a long game, it's a marathon, not a sprint, because the longer you have to let your money make money babies, the more your portfolio will grow. The longer your runway will be, right? For your portfolio to grow. But at minimum, it's 5 years. At minimum is 5 years. But 10 years, absolutely, that's enough time to see growth in your Roth IRA or your investment fund. Go to any compound interest calculator and put in about a 10% average return with 10 years and see the results it'll give you. Okay. I work and I love what I do, but I want it to be an option. Yes. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. The option. The option is the beauty of freedom. Freedom is not just doing nothing and sitting on your couch and eating bonbons, unless that's what you want to do, because you're free. But the beauty of freedom is having choices, having the option to continue working if you want to or not. And she loves what she does. So why stop if you love it, right? In fact, I have everything I do, there's a method to my madness. I also have a strategy that's related to my career. More on that later, but I might go back to work one day. I don't know. But if you love your job, yeah, it's no need to stop. But you still want to have the freedom of choice to be work optional if that's what you decide to do. Yes. From lack to legacy. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey. I can't wait to see you in Thailand soon. Let's see. Finally made it to a live. Sashana. Hey, girl. Good to see you. Ooh, child. The troll. Have I made it on YouTube? Because the trolls are heavy tonight. Oh, my goodness. You have to go. We'll definitely watch the playback. All right, Hilda. Happy birthday. I hope you're still enjoying yourself this birthday weekend. We're not seeing comments from them. The comments, they're commenting into the void. Okay. I can see them on my end, unfortunately. But I'm blocking them as quickly as I can. Thanks to some wonderful ladies like yourself, I no longer feel guilty saying I don't want to do anything that I don't absolutely love. I know that's right, Gail. For a long time, I was conditioned to believe that I had to do certain things. I had to work a 40-hour week job. I had to uh, make all these sacrifices for my child. I had to become a wife. I had to aspire to become a wife, I should say. I had to take care of a home. I had to do all of these things. Where did that conditioning come from? That's a rhetorical question because we know patriarchy and capitalism. But that conditioning is not helpful to any of us. I don't know the exact stats and the rates, but heart disease, stress, it's like the number one killer in the United States. And it's because of all of these demands and standards that we're trying to achieve, and we don't make time for rest, for downtime. It's not normal in our culture to rest. All these places I've been just this year alone, it is part of the fabric of their culture to rest. but it's not for us. So when we say something like, I don't want to do anything, I just want to rest. People look at you like you got three heads. What you mean you don't want to work? What do you mean you don't want to do anything? Or not wanting to do anything you absolutely love. It's like people think you crazy. Girl, you ain't crazy. You are in the right environment now, surrounded by people who can relate to what you feel, what you're saying, and what you're planning to do. You are surrounded by love, and we support you, sis. Yes, be work optional. You ain't got to do nothing that you don't want to do. Let's get rid of all of that conditioning that we used to have. Sandra said, Gil, that's how we're living it these days. Absolutely. I ain't doing nothing I don't want to do. Mm-mm. I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to do it. And you can't pay me enough to do it. Mm-mm. I walked away from a multi six-figure job. Mm-mm. You can't pay me enough to do something I don't want to do. Nope. Not doing it. I know what I need to do next because I still see this person's comments. I'm banning them and deleting the comment, but there's another option that says putting them in timeout. Maybe I'll choose that option next. Seeing the troll again, I think there's a timer to how long that. Oh, there's a timer to how long they're blocked. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. I'm going to put the user in timeout. I chose that one this time. Hopefully that will work. And it's making me hard to see your comments now. Crap. Let's cast a. Oh, Lord. Now this is distracted and it's making me not enjoy the live. I'm sorry. So if I missed any of your comments, I need to get focused back on what I want to share with you guys because that troll is distracting me and it's actually annoying me. But let me get back on topic. I put the person in timeout, so hopefully that helped. Now I want to share the two things I did wrong. The two things I did wrong. As I share the good and all the joy and the beauty and the freedom that I have now, hasn't always been that way because I made mistakes too, which is one of the reasons why I decided to become a coach to help the clients who want coaching to avoid the mistakes that I made. And the mistakes I'm going to share with you tonight, they are the mistakes that had the greatest impact. They are some of the most expensive mistakes that I made. But the first mistake that I made that I hope you will learn from my mistake is I bought individual stock in a company before I knew anything about investing, much less knowing anything about the company. And I share this in the kickoff meetings of my coaching program whenever I coach new clients, because I'm not ashamed of it. I can look back and laugh at it now, but the very first stock I bought in a company was Disney. And it's because I was a mom, a young mom, and I was fascinated with places where I could spend money. I was focused on spending. So I wanted to take my daughter to Disney one day. And the whole idea of investing, people led me to believe, I won't say people, I made the assumption that investing meant investing in individual stock, which, by the way, because you hear me saying this was a mistake, that should let you know it is not. You do not have to own individual stock to be an investor. You do not have to own individual stock to make money babies. But my first investment was in Disney. And the reason why I say that was a terrible mistake and an expensive mistake, because other than amusement parks, I knew nothing about Disney. And if you're investing in stock and you know absolutely nothing about the company, you are making a grave mistake. When you invest in a company, you have to understand how the company makes money. Because as an investor, you become a partial owner of that company. Would you want to become an owner of a company if you don't know how that company makes money? Because if you don't know that, you're not investing, you're gambling. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was gambling. I was buying shares of stock and hoping it would go up, hoping it would go up. And I bought the shares just because it was a popular company. If it's a popular company, it must be a good company to invest in, right? Sis, that's not how investing works. That's not how investing works. The other mistake I made with Disney is because I didn't understand investing. I just Googled investing, buy a share of Disney. And the first website that came up, I just wanted to own a share. They advertised getting a little the certificate when you own a share of a company. So there was a certificate that they would send me. And then when I went to check out, there was an option to buy a frame. And it sounds so ridiculous now, but I did it. So I'm sharing it. And there was an option to buy a frame, to frame the certificate, to own your share of stock. I thought that's what you were supposed to do. Girl, don't you pay nobody for no certificates and no frames. And at the time, Disney stock was probably trading for like $20. I paid well over $60 to buy one share of Disney because I got the stock, the certificate, and the cute little frame. I can't even tell you what that frame is today. I paid 3 times as much for the stock because I did not understand how to invest. So if you don't know what you're doing, do not invest in individual stock. I'll tell you right now, the best thing for you to do while you're learning, you don't have to wait to invest while you're learning. You can learn and improve as you go. But while you're learning, stick to broad-based index funds. Stick to broad-based index funds. Don't worry about stock picking. Don't worry about owning a specific company. Broad-based index funds will give you the average return of the stock market. If you are investing in individual stock because you're trying to beat the market, because you're trying to earn more than what the average market return will give you, I promise you, you're setting yourself up for failure if you don't know what you're doing. There are experts that can't beat the market. As a novice, you don't have a chance. So while you're learning, because I encourage you to still invest, you don't have to wait to learn before you invest. While you're learning, still invest, but invest in broad-based index funds. And if you have downloaded my starter kit, the investor starter kit, it's free. It's linked in the description box. I also suggest a ticker for an index fund you can buy that you can start with as a new investor. So I give you that information. And the video that I also said I was going to link, I give you the information in that video too. Don't make investing complicated, trying to do complex things before you're ready. You will be at a disadvantage and you will lose a lot of money. As Sandra said in the comments, she said fundamental analysis is key. Yes, Sandra. Fundamental analysis is key. Fundamental analysis is understanding how the company makes money, understanding where the company makes money, understanding how well the company is performing in terms of revenue, understanding who the CEO is, where the CEO is from, what the CEO's experience is. You need to understand all of those things before you go investing in individual stocks. And if you don't know how to do fundamental analysis and you have not analyzed the inner workings of that company, you're not investing, you're gambling. You're gambling and you're hoping the stock is going to go up. And when the stock doesn't go up, you have no idea why. But if you did your fundamental analysis, you would know why. And if you did your fundamental analysis, you probably wouldn't choose to invest in that popular company. Like me, I would never, ever invest in Disney. I'm not saying Disney is a bad company to invest in. Some of my clients invest in Disney. And when you're in my coaching program, I don't tell you what to invest in. I help you learn how to think critically. I help you learn how to think critically so you can make these investment decisions for yourself. So I don't share my portfolio and say, I got this, you just buy this. That's not what I do. I train you to be a critical thinker so you can develop a skill that can help you make money babies for the rest of your life. Okay? Yes, fundamental analysis is key. Disney was really attractive. I was a young mom, a young single mom. I'm like, oh, I want to take my daughter to Disney. And people say, oh, buy what you like, buy what you know. So I'm like, okay, my first investment is going to be in Disney stocks. Girl, worst decision ever. I wish I could say once you know better, you do better. It took me a while to start doing better. It took me a while to start doing better. But yes, I made a lot of early money mistakes, Sandra. What were some of the early money mistakes you made? I want to hear it in the comments. If you're an investor, what was an early mistake that you made as an investor? Let me know so I don't feel alone, because I'm going to share another mistake that I made. And some of you, I'm pretty sure all of you have made this mistake. And if you haven't, that's wonderful. Learn from the rest of us who have made it for you. But the last, well, not the last, because I made lots of mistakes, but the second mistake, the second bad decision I made in my early investing journey that impacted my portfolio so much, my portfolio probably would have been double what it was. But I'm sharing with you my memories of my first $100,000 journey, right? But this second terrible decision I made was because I was investing in individual stock and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know the fundamentals of the company, right? When the stock went down, I freaked out. I freaked out and I sold because I thought I was going to lose all my money. It's called panic selling. As new investors, sometimes it's a little unnerving to see your portfolio drop. You put in $1,000 and you see your account balance is 942. You're like, ooh, especially if that's all you got. Sis, don't invest your last. Do not invest your last. Do not invest money you will need within 5 years. Because the market will play tricks on your psyche. The market will mess with you. And as a new investor, because I didn't understand that, I didn't understand how the market works. I didn't understand how to invest. I was doing all the wrong things, investing in individual stock, and then I buy it. I'm hoping it's going to go up. It doesn't go up. It go down. I freak out and I sell. I did a lot of panic selling. And the reason why that was one of the worst mistakes I made that had the greatest impact on my portfolio is because I locked in my losses. When you panic sell, you lock in your losses. So if you buy, I'll try to explain that a little more. So if you buy a stock that's $20 and you don't know what you're doing and you're just hoping it's going to go up, let's say it go up to $23 and you're like, oh, shucks, I made a good decision. I know what I'm doing. I got this. And then next month it goes down to $21 and you start getting nervous because you think stock is only supposed to go up. Nah, sis, that's not how it works. Not in the short term anyway. And then it go down to $20 and you're like, ooh, I don't know about this. And you start thinking, well, should I sell? Should I sell? Because it's not going up quickly. And then it goes down to $19 and then you decide to panic sell. Right? So when you buy a stock at $20 or $25 and you sell it at a lower price, you lock in your losses. That loss becomes a realized loss. So you have for sure lost money. But if you buy a stock at, let's say, $20 and it goes down to 19, that's not a loss. That's not a loss. That's just the paper value today. So when you look at your portfolio, you look at your 401k and you see that it's down right now, a lot of people say, oh, I lost so much money in the stock market. The stock market is crashing. I lost $10,000 this year. No, you didn't. Unless you sold to lock in the loss, to realize the loss, you haven't lost anything. It's just the paper value as of today. But if you owned 1,000 shares yesterday and you still own 1,000 shares today, you haven't lost anything. You still own 1,000 shares of that asset. It's the shares that you own that's going to make you money, babies. Now, I'm not saying that a company will never lose money, and this is why fundamental analysis is important and why you shouldn't be investing in individual stocks if you don't understand how to do fundamental analysis, because there are times where you do need to cut your losses short. There are times that you do need to be aware of what's happening in the company to decide when you want to sell. But if you're investing in broad-based index funds that's tracking the stock market, over the long term, the stock market generally trends up over the long term. So if the stock market today is down and your portfolio is $20, $2,000 less today, that's not a loss. That's just the paper value today. But if you sell, if you panic sell because of your emotions, you will lock in your losses, and that does become a loss. That's a realized loss. Does that make sense? Let me see your comments. See some of the mistakes that you made. Oh, Sashana just turned 30. Oh, I got another in the house. I love it. I'm realizing my mistake is not investing yet. Girl, yes, you are making the most expensive mistake by not getting started. Please start today. Look at the video that I posted, well, that I'm going to post, the one I mentioned, the 3 steps to start investing. Download the starter kit, the investor starter kit. There are suggestions in the investor starter kit on what you can invest in. You can invest in those things while you're learning. But the key is getting started so you have time on your side. And at your age, at your age, Sashana, you just turned 30. You have so much time on your side. Take advantage of the benefits of time. The earlier you start, the less you have to invest. If you wait until you're in your 40s to start planning for retirement, or you wait until you're in your 40s and almost 50 before you start investing, and you want to become a millionaire, you have to invest more to hit that millionaire status. But if you start early, your money is going to compound, and those money babies are going to multiply on their own because of time. So yes, the mistake you're making is not investing yet. I beg you, please get started. Please get started. You don't have to receive any coaching. You don't have to pay for any kind of program. I'm giving you the information to at least get started for free. Get started, sis. Please, I beg of you, get started. Let time do the work for you. So when you get into your 40s and early 50s, you don't have to work anymore. Sandra said her mistake. I invested blindly on Robinhood. I just shake my head when I think about it now. I ain't even gonna mess with you. I ain't even gonna mess with you. I ain't even gonna mess with you. Sasha said, yes, ma'am. I'm watching and learning from so many Black women on here. Okay. In the right place, at least you're thinking about. All right. So the troll is gone, so I can see your comments better now. You're in the right place. I did the same thing with Robinhood too. FOMO is something else. Yes. That's emotional. That's emotional, making investing decisions with your emotions. And that's why the very first step, for me, the very first step of my journey that helped me build the first six-figure portfolio was addressing my psychology, my mindset, and my behaviors. Addressing those emotions, the fear of missing out. Missing out on what? Missing out on what? Trying to get a quick lick? Trying to make some money real quick? Anytime you're making an investment decision because it's trendy, because it's what everybody else is doing, because you think you can make money fast, you progressively increase your risk. You progressively increase your risk when you're following trends and when you're trying to do something to make money fast and you're doing what everybody else is doing. Because if you hear the internet talking about a single stock and everybody is talking about it, I would never invest in it. And if I was investing in it, you know what seasoned investors are doing? We're selling. We're selling because we're selling to all of you novice investors that have FOMO that's jumping on the bandwagon. We're selling and we're taking our profit off the table. We're locking in our profits before it smacked the bottom. So once something becomes trendy, once you hear everyone talking about it, the wave has passed. Seasoned investors that understand the fundamentals of a company, they're already in formation. They're already in position before the trend starts going up. So for new investors that invest based on FOMO, or you invest just because of something you heard, you're getting in so late where there isn't much more room for it to grow before it hits resistance. And if any seasoned investors are in here, I don't want to get into the lingo of support and resistance, but at some point it's going to get so high where it's not going to go any higher before it pulls back. Not to say that the stock can't go higher ever again, but at some point it's going to hit resistance and then pull back. So if you get in, if you're chasing the bandwagon and you're chasing FOMO and you get in at the top, you're going to lose money because it's going to hit resistance and pull back. And it pulls back because the seasoned investors know where resistance is, because we also understand technical analysis and we read charts. We know where resistance is and we know where big money is because we know how to read price action too. And we know where to sell. And we're selling to you that's jumping on the bandwagon because of FOMO, buying high. So sis, don't do that. Don't do that. If you hear about a stock that's trendy, mind your business. Mind your business. And if some people get lucky, you can get lucky gambling in Vegas. Some people get lucky and say, oh, yeah, I made $1,000 off Tesla. Oh, yeah, I made $1,000 off Bitcoin. Oh, yeah, I got $500 this morning off NVIDIA. That's just luck. That's luck. That's not investing. If you are able to repeat the process and make that $1,000 over and over and over and over again consistently, then you're investing because your money is able to make the money babies. But if you're making $1,000 here because you were lucky and then losing $1,000 over here because you really didn't know what you were doing to start, and then you're making $500 and then you're losing $300, girl, you're gambling. You're gambling. All you need to start, for all of my 20s and 30-year-old sisters in the chat, I love it. I cannot express how much I love to see y'all. All you need is broad-based index funds to start investing. And although the things I'm sharing tonight are the things that I did for my first six-figure portfolio, I built $1 million portfolio on just index funds. I built $1 million portfolio on just index funds. You don't have to do anything complex to be a successful investor. As you're learning fundamental analysis, as you're learning technical analysis, and as you grow as an investor, because I encourage you to grow. You want to get started, but don't stay at the bottom. But while you're learning, still invest, but stick to broad based index funds. And if you're all about a life of ease and you're all about resting, you may decide to only ever invest in index funds once you realize how simple it is. You may decide to only do that. So you don't have to do the more complex things to become an investor. You don't have to. The option is there, but you don't have to. I just want you to know that. You don't have to invest in individual stock. You don't have to stock pick. You don't have to chase the bandwagon. You don't have to try to get a quick lick. You don't have to do any of those things. You don't have to read charts. You don't have to do any of those things. You can simply invest in broad-based index funds and build your first six-figure portfolio just solely on index funds. That's it. Let's see, what are the mistakes? Yeah. The Robinhood hype used to be really real a few years ago. Yes. Yes, yes. It's not just on food with Robinhood anymore. Good, good, good. Let's see here. I have high interest credit card debt, 10K at 25%. So my goal is to pay that off rapidly, then start investing. I definitely want to fix my bad habits and make money babies so I can get like you in my 40s. Oh, sis, I want you to be better than me. I want you to be better than me. And you're on the right track and you're making the right decisions right now. Tackling that high interest credit card debt first. If you are employed and you have access to a 401k, I still suggest that you pay off the high interest debt and invest in your 401k so you can get that company match. Because if you're putting in 500 and your employer is putting in 500, that's a 100% return immediately, just off the rip. So don't lose that free money. Invest in your 401k at the same time as you're paying off the credit card debt. But if you don't have access to a 401k and you only want to focus on the credit card debt, I get it. And that makes sense because the credit card debt is costing you 25%. Unless you can make more than 35% somewhere else, then yes, the best bang for your buck is paying off that credit card debt first because it's costing you 25%. That's pretty expensive debt. So yeah, sis, you're doing the right thing. Keep doing what you're doing. But if you have access to a 401k, at least get your match. Okay. Was out there all willy-nilly, girl. Yeah, I was all over the place. I was all over the place. How about real estate? What do you want to know about real estate? I don't talk about real estate much, but I do own real estate. I offloaded some properties before I left the country. At the peak, I was like, let me get this one off my books. But I do own real estate. I own one multi-unit property and I own two individual homes. What is it that you want to know about real estate? I don't talk about real estate much on my channel because my channel is primarily focused on getting new investors investing in the stock market. But real estate investing is also a way of investing. I'm not opposed to that, but what is it specifically that you want to know? But it's not something I talk about on my channel specifically. Yeah, Sandra, we love a good ETF and index fund. Set it and forget it. I know that's right. Set it and forget it, honey. Set it and forget it. Would you suggest investing in multiple index funds versus one? Well, it depends on what index fund it is and why you want to invest in multiple. I'm not the type of person that thinks there's only one way of doing things. I need more information to kind of break it down for you. But here's one thing I would caution you against when you're investing in multiple index funds is there could be a lot of overlap, right? So if you own, let's say, for example, VTI. VTI is the Vanguard ETF for the total stock market. So once you buy VTI, you pretty much bought everything in the stock market. So if you own VTI, and then there's another ETF called VOO. VOO is the ticker symbol for the S&P 500. It tracks the S&P 500. So that's one of the three major indices. So if you own VTI, where you already own all the stock market, and you also want to own VOO, which is the S&P 500, which is the largest index of 500 companies, there's so much overlap. Not to say it's wrong, but there's so much overlap between the two. Why would you want to do it? I'm not saying it's wrong because it depends on your why. But why would you want to do it? So in VTI, you got Apple, you got Google, you got Meta, you got Microsoft, Adobe, Tesla, all the things. They're also in the S&P. So you kind of like buying the same thing. So let me know more about your question, but I hope that helped. Investing in real estate because I don't know how to invest. Well, I guarantee if you don't know how to invest in the stock market, you probably don't know how to invest in real estate either. And I'm going to make this quick. It's the same concept. If you blindly buy a property just because it's turnkey ready, just because it looks good, just because it's nice, or even if you buy a property that needs a little bit of renovations and you renovate the property and say, oh, I have a rental property. Now I want to go get a tenant. That's not the way to do real estate investing either. There's also an analysis in real estate investing. There's also rules of thumb in real estate investing to make sure that that property is going to be profitable for you. Assessing the rental rates in the market, assessing how transient the market is. There are lots of decisions that go into analyzing a property. So the same way you need to learn how to invest in the stock market, you also need to learn how to invest in real estate if you want to be profitable. Anybody can blindly buy stock. Anybody can blindly buy a house. It doesn't mean it's a good investment. So you have to learn how to do either one. So then it becomes a choice of which one you want to learn how to do. I started by investing in the stock market, and it wasn't until my money started making money babies where I shaved the profit to pay the deposit to buy my rental properties. So I allowed my investments in one area, in one asset class, to help me buy investments in another asset class. So wherever you start, that's totally up to you and what your interests are. But either way, you need to learn how to do it properly if you want to be profitable. Right? Hope that helps. Let's see. Did I miss any other comments? Let's see. But that was the last mistake I wanted to share with you. I made so many other mistakes that I shared in the New Investor Starter Kit. Again, that's linked in the description box if you want to see the other mistakes that I made in the stock market and how you can avoid those mistakes. And in the starter kit, I also include some suggestions on how you can start investing without all the risk and all the losses that I took. So what questions do you have for me about getting started with investing? Let's see. So Sandra had a response for the person interested in real estate. A REIT is an easier way to get in the real estate game, and you don't have the responsibility of the actual property. That is true. That is true. But because the person said they don't understand how to invest, a REIT is still something you need to know how to analyze. A REIT is still something you need to know how to analyze. A REIT is a real estate investment trust. So it's like a ticker symbol that you can invest in, just like you invest in stocks or broad-based index funds. My favorite REIT is O. The ticker symbol is O. O'Reilly. So I have several portfolios. I have a portfolio that's strictly broad-based index funds. That's how I built my first $1 million portfolio. I have a portfolio that's growth stocks. I have a portfolio that's dividend stocks, and I also have a portfolio of REITs as well. My favorite ticker symbol is REIT, is O for O'Reilly Realty. But even with that being said, you still have to understand how to invest in the stock market. You still have to understand how to analyze that REIT. A lot of people invest in REITs because REITs pay very high dividends. But just because a stock pays high dividends, that does not mean it's a good stock to invest in. But just to wrap up that conversation, Sandra is right. If you don't want to carry the responsibility and the risk of actual property and actual land and dealing with being a landlord or hiring a property manager, a REIT is one way that you can own real estate or own shares of real estate without investing in the actual property. So thank you for that, Sandra. Let's see. Yeah, that was my concern about the overlap of the top holdings for the index funds. The compound interest won't grow as fast in multiples. Yeah, it's mainly the overlap, not necessarily how fast it grows. I try to stay away from the language of how fast something grows because I don't encourage get rich quick anything. Um, but the main concern, the main thing I want you to take away is analyzing the ETF or analyzing whatever it is that you're trying to invest in to make sure there isn't significant overlap. Some things they're going to be overlap, and that's okay. But make sure there isn't significant overlap. And a website that I like to use to evaluate ETFs is ETF.com. ETF.com is a good website to use. Evaluate, plug in your ticker symbol, and it'll show you all the makeup of that ETF. It'll show you who created the ETF. It'll show you what it tracks. It'll show you the companies that are inside the ETF. It'll show you the performance over the past year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, if it's been around that long. It'll show you all the things about the ETF. It'll show you similar ETFs from other brokerage firms. But yeah, ETF.com, that's my jam. So use that website to look at your ETF to see what the makeup is and compare it to whatever other ETF you're considering to make sure there isn't significant overlap. And when I say significant, I mean like the top holdings, like the top maybe 5 holdings that carry the most weight in the ETF. Hope that was helpful. If this video is helpful to you, hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that like button and share it. Share this video. There's a tool that will analyze funds for overlap. What's the tool, Sandra? Share the tool, sis. Let's see. Sashana, can you do a video about the best finance books, websites, and resources for beginner investors? I can. I actually have that on my list. I have that on my list of things to do. Y'all, I have so many video ideas. I just need to sit my butt down. I need to sit my butt down and do some research and write out the scripts and like the pre-recorded videos. They're a lot of work. That's why I've been doing lives lately. They're a lot of work, but I am going to do some pre-recorded videos soon. But that is one of them. I do want to share. I wouldn't necessarily say the best of them, but the resources that I like. So books, websites, resources for beginners. I most certainly can do that for you, Sashana. Don't hold me to when the video is going to come out. Because y'all, I don't like anything that feels like work. And if something ever feels like work, if this YouTube thing starts feeling like work, I ain't going to do this no more either. So I need to keep it fun. I need to keep it fun for me, and y'all make it fun for me. But yes, I have that on my list of video ideas, and I will make that one a priority. In addition to the difference between financial independence and financial freedom, and then I'll do a resource for financial resources for beginner investors. I most certainly will. When I get to, today is my last day in Singapore. So I'm leaving tomorrow and heading to another country. When I get to Thailand, I will be in Thailand for a good minute, for a stretch of time. So when I get there, and I'll probably be living in one location the whole time, because I've been to Thailand before, so I don't need to bop around and see all the things. I'm just going back because I love it, and it's an event that I want to experience during the month that I'm there. So I'm going to rent an apartment or an Airbnb and just sit my butt down for a whole month. And I'm going to crank out some pre-recorded videos for you all. Yeah, let's see. Event. Oh, did I misunderstand you, sis? No, I meant investing in two versus one index fund means that the growth will be slower if you divide your contributions among two versus one. Sorry for the confusion. Oh, no need to apologize. No need to apologize. I think I misunderstood you. So that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, so any other questions you have for me? What other questions do you have for me? I'll give it a minute. I'll hang around for maybe another 10 minutes or so, because this is my last day in Singapore. And I just discovered that they have a nice beach area. Like, what was I thinking? I forgot Singapore is right here by the water. So I've been doing all the things and checking out the neighborhoods and, Kampong Glam, which is my favorite. That's the indigenous Malay neighborhood. I went to Little India. I went to Little China. I've been doing all the touristy stuff where all the high tech things they have going on. I did not know they had a beach. If it don't rain, I'm gonna try to check out their beach today. But don't forget to like and share this video. There are other Black women who are wondering how to get started investing. So they need to see this. They need to know what you now know. So the more you engage, the more you like, the more you share this video, it lets the algorithm know that this is a video worth sharing. They will push it out more to more people that are new investors, to more people that are Black women, because these are the keywords I've been saying over and over again, and they will share it with more of those people that may be interested in this video. But I need your help to let the algorithm know it's a good video, so they will push it out for me and share it more. So if this live was helpful for you in any way, if anything I shared helped you, if anything I shared inspired you, if anything I shared will help move your feet to start investing, please like the video and share it with all of your peeps. So I'm going to check the comments one more time to see if you had any other questions. And if I missed your question, feel free to repeat it, because I do want to answer all of your questions before I go. Sashana, I'll be in Chiang Mai. I will be in Chiang Mai. Hopefully link up with my girl Sandra while I'm there. And Greta said this was great. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And if you are a new investor, download the Investor Starter Kit that's linked in the description box. And I'm going to link to that video I mentioned, the 3-step guide to start investing. I'll link to it. I'll put it in the end cap video, so you'll see it over here somewhere if you're watching the replay. But until next time, continue learning and continue investing while you're learning, so you can live whatever you love. Bye for now.